Hello, third grade. This is Miss Andrea, and today we are starting our final project. Okay, so what we need to have is the watercolor from the green paper packet. It's the little thicker paper, and if you don't have your green paper packet, last week in your folders from school, I also included another watercolor paper just in case because I know some of you couldn't find it. So I put on everybody's folder one extra watercolor paper, so everyone should have one, okay? You also need a pencil. It's just a regular pencil, and if you remember, we were talking about not holding the pencil super close to the tip, but pushing it a little bit farther up, so when we draw, we don't leave that big, strong mark. And then you need your scientific photograph or your scientific object. That was going to be a fossil, a plant, or an insect, okay? Before we begin drawing, there are 3 questions you need to ask, or I need to ask you, you can ask yourself. The first question, is your object symmetrical? And if you don't remember what symmetrical means, is when you kind of sort of can draw an imaginary line right in the middle of your object, and you find that on both sides you have the same exact thing. So one eyeball on one side, one eyeball on the other side, they're basically located at the same height. Same thing with my nose, same thing with my mouth. I have 2 sides on my mouth. I have 2 ears. Remember, we're talking, yes, hopefully Miss Andrea can hear really well, and she has 2 ears in here. So this is the imaginary line. And we looked at plants where some of them, depending on how you draw them, can be symmetrical. There are some fossils, again, that could be considered symmetrical depending on which view you have. And definitely insects. There were most of the insects we looked at last week were symmetrical, at least in the way in which we were looking at them. So, number one thing, look at your object, look at your photograph, and see if it is symmetrical. I would recommend that if you have your object and you can choose to make it symmetrical, I would choose to make it symmetrical. It will make your brain super happy, okay? If not, it's okay. Plenty of scientific drawings that are not symmetrical. All right, what's your next step? The next question is looking, okay? We are using our eyes. Our brains are helping out, but it's all about what we see. The second part is, what types of shapes can you use to draw your object? What are the basic shapes that you can arrange? And for example, if you were drawing a symmetrical shape, a symmetrical object, you can draw a line in the middle, all right? You see that line? And then you decide, oh, I'm going to have an oval on one side, but if it's symmetrical, I'm probably going to have another oval on the other side. So the reason why we're looking at shapes and symmetry is if it's symmetrical, you can think of the 2 different shapes. They're the same shape in different placement that you're going to use using that line of symmetry, okay? If it's not symmetrical, that's okay. You're still thinking in terms of shapes, okay? And then the last thing, which is really, really important, you are going to estimate. You are going to calculate in your mind how much space do you need to use of your paper. So if this is your piece of paper, where are you going to place your object, your drawing, and how much space you need to save aside for it, all right? Because you have 3 different possibilities of how you organize it. Look at the first option, which is template 1. The drawing goes right smack in the middle, and it has space at the bottom, space at the top, and space on the sides. What that means, if you were drawing a fossil, your fossil is going to be right in the middle, and you can see that you have space at the top of this, at the bottom of this, and on the sides, all right? The next option is when you shift your drawing to the side, and you kind of have way more space on one side than on the other. And you definitely have space at the top and space at the bottom. Okay, so this is your second option where you choose to put your drawing on one side. Notice that I am not making any borders around my drawing. I am just drawing what I am seeing, okay? This one is not symmetrical. This one is symmetrical. And you can really see shapes in this one very clearly, not so much in this one. So let's see what is the last option that we have. And I have placed my last one, the plant, at the top. And I had some of you that wanted to place it at the bottom. It's the same. You can choose the top or you can choose the bottom. But it is very, very clear. Almost no space on one side, lots of space on the other, okay? A little space on the side and a little space on the side. So now it's your turn to use your eyes and go really slow, because our brain is going to want to trick us into drawing what we think we are seeing, but not what we are seeing. So slow down. Don't rush your drawing. It should take you the entire class to finish drawing with detail. And we are only using line. We are not shading. We are not adding texture. We are not even adding color yet. All I want you to do is to really, really, really carefully and slowly start looking at the object, at the photograph, and slowly draw it. And when you think you are done, ask yourself, is there anything I missed? Can you find one new thing that you missed in your drawing? So when you are done, pause, look at your drawing, look at the object or the photograph and say, what is something new in my photograph of my object that I did not see before? And put it in there. Okay, if you did that, guess what I'm going to ask you now? Do it again. Okay, so when you think you're done, you're going to repeat this 3 times. You're going to stop when you think you're finished, and then you're going to look again, and you're going to find one new thing, and you're going to add it to your drawing. And then you're going to stop. You're going to look at your object, and you're going to find another new thing, and you're going to put it in your drawing. And last time, 3 is the magic number for Miss Andrea, always. You're going to look for the 3rd new thing that you did not see before, and it could be a tiny little thing. Look at this. This insect, look at the tiny little detail in there. You could do that. It could be another vein in your leaf. I don't know. Okay? So find 3 new things. Take your time. Slow down. This is detail, line drawing. You're going to help yourself with shapes. You're going to help yourself with your eyes. And you're going to do an amazing job today. Okay? Good luck. And I can't wait to see your drawings. This is it for the lesson today. If you happen to finish with everything, okay, you did your 3 new things and everything, you can choose to use a fine Sharpie and outline very carefully with that Sharpie. Again, it's the fine Sharpie, not the super skinny one, but it's the one that is a little fatter, okay? And you're going to outline every line you made in there. We're going to do it with the Sharpie. And that is it, nothing else. All right, good luck. And please let me know if you have any questions, okay? Thank you.